Alright, hello everyone, and welcome to this tournament live stream game. So, this is the first of 3 games we've got coming for you today. So, lots of action from the Blue Tit Bash. So, this is the most recent tournament that we have starting on the tournament's Discord server. So, this is 2 stages in this tournament. We have a group phase, 16 groups, and then once that group stage finishes, we have 3 players from each group going through into a knockout phase. So this is coming from Group O of the group stage, and it's between BalletMage and Dozi. And joining me on the commentary today, I've got Alex. So how's it going, Alex?
Hello everyone. Hello Flan. Thanks for having me. I'm doing alright. What about you?
Good. Yeah, I'm doing very well, and yeah, I'm very glad to have you joining me today. Should be a good match. BalletMage and Dozi, I think I've seen them both around on the server for a good few months now. So very excited to have the opportunity to get them here on stream today for a match. So yeah, I think we're about ready to go. So the players have flipped, and Dozi is going to be going first. So Dozi, if you could get the invite sent out, we'll get this game up and running. And yeah, as always, best of luck to both of our players.
Yeah, good luck everyone.
Good luck, have
Enjoy.
fun.
Happy birding.
Happy birding, yes, absolutely. All right, and how about that for a start? It doesn't get much better than that.
That's
for,
a very nice hand.
Dozi. Yeah. I mean, obviously your eyes kind of drawn to the goal, but lots of good food options there. So almost sport for choice. I mean, how do you prioritize and pick the right birds from this starting hand?
Well, I think that's actually a hard choice because obviously Gal is not going on the board round 1, so
right.
You probably have to find a way to draw some birds before that. I like the blue throat because it can go like in the wetlands if you want to like draw cards and maybe get some food at the same time. Yeah, I guess you don't skip the gull. Probably gull and the blue throat, and just take the food for the blue throat, play it in wetlands probably, and yeah, go from that. I also like European Robin, but considering other cards in the hand, I guess I will skip that.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's a tricky one. Kind of. I like that idea of keeping the blue throat. I think certainly it's a really strong bird, lots of bird points, easy to get the food. But Tuck and Cash in the chat makes a great point. If you just have the blue throat, and like you made this point as well, the gull, you can't play it until round 2. So what are you going to do for that entire first round? It's not the right nest type as well for the first and the round goal, whereas that European Robin is as well. So yeah, I feel like keeping the 3 of them, I think you can make it work. It's a little bit slow, obviously. Whether you're going to play the blue throat or the robin, they both need 3 food. So if you keep 3 birds, you only get 2 food. But yeah, I like this start. I think you can make it work. I think they can easily get the food for the robin, get that down, start getting some food, and that should work out quite nicely for them. But here we go. We now have BalletMage's starting hand, and I think it's fair to say considerably weaker on the card front. But there are some good options in there. What would you kind of look to maybe keep from this hand, Alex?
First of all, I agree that the hand looks considerably worse. But there are some options. I think that you could try and maybe take that wren and goshawk. Maybe also the honey buzzard seems alright. So the hand is like card draw, obviously, and I believe should be like the first thing to prioritize, like your card draw. So Wren helps with that, but not consistently. There is a skimmer in the tray. I think it's not going anywhere, but there are no fish in the tray. So yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
Probably Ren and Buzzard or Ren and Goshawk. That's also hard. Yeah, so I think I'll be skipping the Quail and the Warbler here for sure.
Right.
Even though Warbler works for first end of round goal, but
yeah, I mean, I think I agree. I think the Carolina Wren, that's probably the instant keep for me. Interested to see that BalletMage is not keeping that, but maybe they'll kind of think it through and work out what they're planning on doing. But yeah, I think you can be a bit greedy with the cards here because obviously there's a lot of nice forest options. So I think getting that forest built up to the point where they're going to be able to get 2 or 3 food, and particularly with that honey buzzard, if they play that, getting food between the rounds as well is going to be a nice option. But yeah, the weakness, like you said, it's the lack of card draw, and I've had quite a few games with the European expansion where if you don't get that card draw early, it's so difficult to keep up and kind of catch up with that because there's a lot of cards in the deck. There's a lot of good cards that you want to be finding, and if you can't give yourself access to cards, you're really going to struggle. So yeah, not an easy position, I think, for BalletMage here.
Well, I think their plan for now is just play the Goshawk right away and attack everything but the Buzzard.
Yeah.
And try to take that Schema, right? And brute force it. So they have 1 fish and they will try to brute force it.
Yeah, I think they must have their eyes on the Skimmer. It's obviously not a great wetland bird, but when it's your only option, I don't think you can really afford to be greedy. So obviously they kept the fishery manager bonus card as well, so kind of plays a little bit into that as well. But yeah, I'm interested to see kind of how they do this. I'm assuming it's going to be Warbler and the Quail that go, and then I don't know. Are they gonna ditch the honey buzzard just to get that food and, like you said, brute force it? I don't know. It feels a little bit risky to me, but yeah, it's such a tricky situation here, and just they're so desperate to get something going that maybe you do sacrifice that honey buzzard just to at least get the wetland bird down and try and start digging.
Yeah, I would think so, but I think Buzzard is really good round 1 play.
Yeah, I agree.
It will allow to give you on average 6 to 7 vertebrae.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think as well.
We'll see.
I think as well when you don't have that brown power in the forest, you're only maybe they do go Goshawk and Buzzard. You're still only getting 2 food, which is okay, but it's not great in terms of food generation. So I think having the honey buzzard to just help out a little bit, like you say, you get those worms, you're pretty likely to get at least 1 or 2 in between rounds. So I think particularly BalletMage, they go in second this first round, which means they go first in the next round. So I think being able to start that second round with those couple of worms that you might get, and just kind of maybe then you go for cards or get some birds down, I think it's really nice for that reason. So yeah, they have gone for the worms, so it does to me seem like they are gonna hopefully lay eggs and get this honey buzzard down. But yeah, I'd be interested to see if they they maybe use the fish for this, but then it is a little bit slower trying to get this Skimmer down if they do indeed go for that. So yeah, difficult decisions I think at the moment if you're BalletMage in this position.
For sure. And for those, it seems like a very straightforward plan. So they
absolutely
chose to keep the Robin, so they want to accumulate some food for their big place, for the Blue Throat, for the Gull.
Yeah.
And yeah, so their first round is very, very straightforward.
I think it's so smooth, this first round. Like you said, you get the Robin down, they go for food, you can go for food again here, and then I think even if you have to overpay a little bit on the Blue Throat, I don't mind that. I think you get that down, they give themselves a couple of turns to lay eggs on the Robin, helps the end of round goal, but also just get that food, because you want to be getting that Franklin's Gold down straight away in the second round. So yeah, I think for Dozi this feels very plain sailing, and certainly compared to the struggles that BalletMage is going through right now.
Ooh, very interesting turn. So they took the Sparrow, and I wonder what do they want to like dominate on end of round goals? What's the plan
Yeah,
here?
that is an interesting pickup. It's probably not. It's not one that I really considered. If I'm completely honest, I mean, I think just kind of thinking through their turns, I think they probably did have at least one spare turn to be able to pick up a card, but I'm surprised it was the Sparrow that they went for. I mean, sure, you know that it helps for the next two end of rounds, and they do have the Ecologist bonus card, so it gives a little bit of flexibility there. I guess if you're maybe only got two birds in one of the habitats, and you can make sure the Sparrow ends there to help get you a couple of extra points. But yeah, I think it probably wouldn't have been the bird I would have prioritized drawing, but I certainly don't imagine it would have been a denial from stopping BalletMage take it. But you never know.
Yeah, and for BalletMage, it seems like things are going a little bit better now because they got to reroll a feeder and got like the fish they needed for the skimmer. So now it's looking a little bit better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would still say that for now, Dozi is in the lead.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's
yeah.
I mean, it's still too early to judge. But yeah, for me, it seems like Dozi like has more chances this game.
Yeah, I mean, you know, once the goal goes down, that's going to be so strong for Dozy. But I think being able to get that fish on the reroll for BalletMage, and they have at least got a wetland bird down. So you know, like so many games, it's going to be down to the second round tray. So you know, if a nice option comes up, either for the wetlands or maybe like a raven or something like that appears, then you never really know. So yeah, I think they're just going to have to really hope that they can get something nice. You know, I think they need to think about whether this honey buzzer is going to go down this round. I mean, we talked about it before. It's so nice to get that down as early as possible and make sure you get the worm. So I think perhaps if this blue throat does go down, and they see that and expect a free food, then they can probably go for cards here and feel pretty safe in being able to get that honey buzzer down. But it is a little bit of an interesting dilemma, I think, for BalletMage here.
Yeah, so I guess the plan with the Sparrow would be to play it in wetlands, I guess. So that Blue Throat is very, very has a very nice place in the grassland, in the engine. So like you get eggs and cards and food, and here you go.
Yeah, that's the dream. I think if you can get all three of those resources in that single turn, you're setting yourself up really nicely. Obviously, the blue throat, it is going to help BalletMage as well by giving some free food away. So I think Dozy will have to bear that in mind, but certainly they'll be very happy getting the food alongside the eggs and the cards at the same time. So yeah, feels pretty straightforward for them there. You lay the eggs, you get the fish. They can look to get that Franklin's goal down immediately in round two, and then it is just about digging through the deck and hoping they can find some good birds to add to what they've already got set up.
Yeah, and BalletMage went for the safe play and didn't want to gamble, so they took like the foot, but which is all right. But yeah, buzzard going down round one. So let's see how many Quigleys
that's always the question.
It can produce.
Yeah. I think you always hope for at least one. It is always disappointing when you do that reroll and don't get any. But here we go, moment of truth.
Okay, let's see.
That's good. I think 2 is good.
Yeah.
I think you're happy with that.
Better than average.
Better than average, absolutely. So yeah, like I said before, it's all going to be on this round 2 tray. So what have we got? Not anything amazing, but a couple of fishery birds that go in the wetlands. So you know they can look at that bonus card and think, you know, pretty safe in getting the lower bound at least. Maybe they look at the white start. Obviously helps this end of round as well, and just helps a bit with the food generation. So yeah, not kind of those maybe overpowered options that you might have hoped for, but certainly nothing too shabby, I think, there for BalletMage.
Well, I would I would just go for the night heron immediately. In my opinion, it's like a very, very strong bird.
Yeah.
So you have like almost all resources for it, and you have the fish in the feeder. So you just take it, play it, and you have
Exactly.
2 card draws without paying some eggs, and if you want to pay an egg, you will get a food. So that's nice.
Yeah.
And they went for it as expected.
Yeah, and ended up revealing probably 2 even better birds for the wetland. So again, both fishery manager birds and 2 new birds from the expansion that are just so strong in terms of getting extra card draw through the wetlands. So a little bit disappointing, I think, if you're BalletMage to see those appear straight away. But hey, I mean, they still have the chance to maybe grab one of those, and I think that's certainly an option to bear in mind, just because at the moment the card draw is not really there for BalletMage.
Yeah, and they would be a little bit more disappointed with that gull.
Exactly. Yeah, they see the gull go down, and that's when you start banging your head on the table, and the frustration comes out. But there's nothing you can do about it. It's unfortunate for sure, but I think BalletMage just kind of needs to, like I say, focus on trying to get some of this card draw. So it does seem like with the 2 fish they picked up, I'd imagine the night heron is going to be that first one to go down. But I would be certainly looking at one or the other of those 2 nice wetland birds to just help the card draw a little bit for BalletMage.
Yeah, and when you see like the kind of almost ready engine like the gull and blue throat, right? So I think there is like, for the opponent, is like a way to just let's say just play it through, meaning like there is no turning back. They have like almost the best engine in the game, so like you kind of relaxed, so like you almost expected to lose. So if you manage to win, that's like a double satisfaction. And I think like BalletMage still have some chances, so like they will put some big birds and try to dig for some more. So let's see how it goes.
Yeah. I mean, it's always an interesting kind of philosophical point in terms of like, how do you react to this kind of situation? Like you say, you kind of, there's obviously frustration when you see that overpowered bird, but you can kind of relax a bit. Like, the pressure's off. You kind of expect yourself to lose. So I think certainly you can, often I'll make better decisions when the pressure's off, because I'm not really having to overthink or overanalyze and just kind of go with your instincts. So like you say, BalletMage, they've got some big point birds. They've already got a few down. So, the engine isn't really there at the moment. So I think the points are going to hopefully come from some big point birds. And, if they can max out the fishery manager and draw another nice bonus card perhaps with the king rail, then they've got every chance. But I think it is, as always, it's going to come down to the card draw for both players, because I think Dozi is just kind of 1 or 2 cards away from having a really, really nice setup in this grasslands. And so, they just have to wait and see and hope they get something nice with that Franklin's goal.
Yeah, so also Dozi will donate some food to the BalletMage to help them get their big birds on the board. And these big birds will provide some extra points from the fishery, obviously, and will allow for a little bit more card draw.
Right.
So like the grassland is still empty, but I guess we can find some birds from the draws. At least it's expected, almost.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite interested that Dozi chose a fish with the blue throat, so that you look at what they've got in their hand. I mean, maybe they're not looking at playing either of those birds, but by giving a fish to BalletMage, I think that gives them the option of those 2 cards in the tray now, because beforehand they only had 1 fish and a worm, so there's only so much they could be playing with that. But now, with that free fish, I think if you're BalletMage, you can look at one of those 2 wetland birds in the tray. You pick one of those up, whichever one you choose, get it down straight away because they've already got an egg, and then you can start digging. So, I mean, it's been kind of few points in the chat as well about this in terms of the blue throat, and you mentioned it before. It is going to help BalletMage here in the free food. So I think until you know that you need a specific kind of food, it feels a little bit risky giving away all this free food, because it is going to help BalletMage quite a lot here, I think.
And at this point of the board, which birds in the tray that goes for fishery would you prefer? Like, do you go for the grip or for the diver?
At this point, I'd probably go for the diver. So they are, like you said, they're slightly different. So the grebe, you get to draw cards for every empty slot you have, and then you pick one. And then the diver, you get to reset the tray and draw one of the new cards in the tray. So I think the grebe, as a first wetland bird, is better because you have more empty slots. You get to look at more cards and find the birds that you're looking for. I think once they've already got a little bit of a wetland setup like they have here, I think that diver comes out ahead, and obviously again a couple more points. So I think certainly if I'm BalletMage, I'm looking at that diver, and again potentially that white start. I mean, it's still there. They've got the food for it. Helps potentially with this end of round, although I'm not sure they're quite going to have enough turns to get everything down. But I think absolutely, I think the diver is the one I'd be going for here if I'm BalletMage.
And I'm wondering why Dozi is donating fish actually.
Yeah,
are they
fish again.
Are they going for the puffin maybe?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be interested to hear their thoughts on that maybe after the game. But yeah, I'm very confused at the fish, because I think if you're Dozy at the moment, like I said, you're going to be gambling on the deck a bit and seeing what you can find, but ultimately you're going to be looking for some nice grassland options. Maybe something that, like a tucking power, or something else that's going to help get a bit of food, or something that just generates points, because at the moment they're not getting a whole lot of points in this grassland. So fish is a bit of an interesting one. You don't really associate that so much with those strong grassland powers, and absolutely it's helping out BalletMage here with all these fishery manager birds they're looking to get down. Potentially, they might be able to do that without having to go food, and that's always nice.
Yeah, so they went for the grip, which is all right, because it works for every end of round goal from round 2, even for round 1, but we already know. So. So it's a nice pickup. I would even go maybe for boss of the grip and diver, just to maybe deny potential pickups from Dozy. Maybe like they were donating fish, but also wanted to look what the deck prepares for them. Who knows? But yeah, we will see.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point about the star nest on the grebe. That is potentially a nice option to have. And at the moment they don't have any of those cavity nests. So so many times in my games, I'll see that fourth end of round and I think, I'll worry about it later. When we get closer to that fourth round, that's when I'll start looking for the nest type. But if you leave it too late and nothing comes up, either in the tray or that you're drawing from the deck, it's really difficult. And if you don't get those birds early on, and you're kind of really scrambling and like I say, kind of going through the deck and trying to find it, it can be so difficult. So I don't mind that from BalletMage. I think it's sensible to plan ahead a little bit. Make sure you've at least got something so that you're going to qualify, because that last end of round goal, 4 points, even for coming second, you really can't afford to miss out on that.
I think I have some connectivity issues. So sorry for robot impression, right? Hopefully I'll be back soon.
Good stuff. No, we occasionally have robot commentators on here, so you aren't alone in that, so I wouldn't worry too much. But this is... Oh, there we go. Okay. This is interesting from Dozy there. I'm not too sure about the dive. I'm not sure the need for it when you've got the gull. But they did draw the wild turkey, so that is at least nice to get for them. Really, I think when you're running this kind of engine that's generating cards and food, you either look to go for the engine, So like I said, getting these kind of tucking birds or birds that are going to generate eggs or other points that way, and try and score a lot of points by running that engine. Or you go for big point birds, and so I think the turkey is a nice option. But yeah, it is tricky, I think, for Dozi. You know, they're getting all of these cards, a lot of low point cards that are not really, like say, scoring points or helping the engine either. So it's quite difficult to see where the points are coming from. But they are going for the diver here. I'm not too sure about that. Not sure the need for a brown power in the wetlands, considering the kind of gull situation that you've got. Probably aren't going to expect to use that wetlands too many times, but they have changed their minds, gone for the house wren and the screech owl, and I don't mind that. I think that works. They helps the card draw, or helps the food draw, I should say. So if they do choose to go for food, they can get a little bit more. But here we go, punny buzzards with a single worm. So below average this time, but I think that evens out for the first round. So Dozi does take that end of round, and here we go. That is probably the tray they've been looking for. So there's the Brewer's Blackbird.
Yeah.
That probably kind of saves this engine, because like I said before, the point scoring wasn't really there, but with all these extra cards they've got, getting that Blackbird down, they're going to be able to do so many tucking turns and score so many points with that. So that's really, really nice, I think, for Dozi.
Am I back?
You are back. I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. So I guess I missed a couple of plays, but let's see. So the Ren and Owl were played, and again, going back to the point, Dozi want to dominate end of round goals.
Yep.
No doubt about that.
Yep.
So I guess they will be able to. Yeah, things are looking green for BalletMage, but yeah, nothing you can do about that at this stage in the game, I guess.
Yeah, I'm just thinking how nice that Mute Swarm would have been for the BalletMage if they could have got their hands on that, but unfortunately Dozi's got that, and certainly, alongside that Alduin's Gull, if you play that with the Swan, just lets you tuck so many cards and get the good card cycle as well alongside that. So but I think actually they still have pretty nice wetlands that they're going to set up. I think the plan was probably to play the King Rail, so they did lay eggs towards the end of last round. Obviously needed to for the end of round goal, but if they're going to start playing more birds, they'll need eggs at some point. So I was about to mention the Inca Dove. I was just kind of counting and seeing how many platform nests they have. Certainly, if this King Rail goes down as well, I think they're going to be on sort of 5 or 6 platform nests. So that is going to help them as well, and potentially
and also
a White Stork.
A nice pickup.
Very nice pickup. Very nice pickup, the White Stork. So just pure points, 8 points. They've already got the food for it. It works with the bonus card as well. So yeah,
and also a magpie. Wow. Or should I say magpie?
That's going to work really nicely against this grasslands that's got set up. So obviously this magpie, you get to cash food, I believe, on the magpie for each grasslands activation your opponent does. So here we go. Okay, things are looking good for BalletMage now. If they can get this White Stork and this Purple Martin down in the grasslands, that is a really, really nice combination, just in terms of point scoring and also cycling through cards and getting more cards as well through the White Stork. That is looking very, very nice, I think, if you're BalletMage in this position.
Yeah, and ideally you also want that Inca Dove, but now it seems like you have a lot of options to.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think I probably would have gone for the Inca Dove. They obviously went for that gamble from the deck in the first place and drew the magpie. So at that point, you're quite happy with that. And then again, use the Greaves power. You pick up the Purple Martin, and certainly you want to be keeping that rather than the Inca Dove or even the Wren that they've drawn. So yeah,
well, they chose to go for the cherry, so maybe they want to also play that.
I think you're right. I think they're looking at the catbird here, and they've got a lot of food. They keep being given food by Dozi as well, so I think they've got enough here where they can obviously get this White Stork and this Purple Martin down in consecutive turns, and then they can look to lay eggs, and then I think they might just need one more food to be able to brute force this Catbird down, and just the points that's going to get copying the Martin's power and the additional card cycle is going to be so powerful for BalletMage. Just like I say, you're cycling through the deck, you're finding those birds you're looking for, but also scoring points through the eggs and the tucking power. Really, really nice. So, yeah, this suddenly, in the space of one turn, I think, in that single card draw that BalletMage had, looks like they might be able to drag this game back.
Yeah. So, and the thing is, they also have like options with that hands. All right. So like you can go for Martin right away and maybe tag the Magpie.
Yeah.
Or maybe you go for like, even though you got the White Stork, you maybe wanted to pick up that Inkadav and maybe see a little bit less cards after the White Stork, right?
Yep.
Maybe.
Yep.
But then, yeah. So like for now, things are looking much better for BalletMage, but yeah, it all comes down to the last few turns.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you get this Martin down, you give yourself options. I think certainly I would still be looking at that Inkadav as a nice option. Just all of these platform nests they've got, that's going to score a lot of points potentially. So I think certainly you pick up what you can, and then if you get better options, you can just tuck it later. It's obviously it will get discarded or reset with the tray when they activate that White Stork power. But yeah, this feels very nice, and you look at the boards, and in terms of like the bird points that BalletMage has got down, we said earlier in the game it was for them at that point all going to be about scoring the bird points, and they managed to do that, and then now they've got the engine set up. I think you kind of look at Dozi's board now. The Blackbird has gone down. Obviously, they're adding this Wild Turkey for some raw bird points, but it's more going to be about that engine. So they're going to be looking to lay lots of eggs, get some tuck cards behind that Blackbird. I'm going to be interested in seeing how much this Blue Threat gets used, and it's being talked about in the chat about maybe some of that early usage is coming back to bite them. And I think they maybe were a little bit too liberal with some of the activations and giving away the food, but I think now they look at their opponent who's building up a nice grasslands and maybe hasn't got the strong food generation in the forest that they do. And I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this, Alex. Would you look to keep using that Blue Throat, or is this the point where you start to shut that off and stop giving away the food?
First of all, I wanted to see what the BalletMage is going to attack, and yeah, they went for the King Rail.
Nice.
I would probably go for the same thing and maybe keep the Inkadav.
Yeah.
For the so I played Magpie the very last turn of the round 3.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I guess they're going for that play. So it will be nice for them. And speaking about the Blue Throat, I mean, I think it was a little bit strange, Dozi donated some fish, which was a little bit their hand wasn't so fish focused.
Yeah.
Rather than the tray was fish focused, but then they were not taking cards from the tray, which was really interesting. But yeah, I think definitely it has some consequences in that game. But let's just see for the next few turns.
Let's see. Yeah, this is the big point. And there we go. They are giving away a worm, so that is certainly going to help. If you're BalletMage, I think, like you said, I think you're probably going to look to try and get this Magpie down before the end of this round, so that you do at least get those 2 activations and score some points from that. But yeah, I did wonder if this White-throated Swift was going to go down as well. So this is potentially a little bit risky, because obviously you gain a card through the White Stork, but then you have to tuck one behind the Swift, so you're not gaining any cards. But in terms of the point scoring, really, really nice, and also helps for that next end of round. So This game is shaping up very, very nicely for this final round, and yeah, I think this is a tricky one to call. I think both players are looking in a pretty good position right now.
And yeah, both players played really well, considering all the hands they've been given, like the trays and stuff. So like they managed their hands pretty well. Obviously, we saw some more luck on the Dozi side, but now I guess it's coming the other way around in the end game. But
yeah. It does feel like the tide is turning a little bit. I think, like you said.
But sadly, end of round goals are not their way either. So we'll see.
Yeah. It does seem like at the moment that Dozi does kind of have the advantage at least. But I think with that white-throated Swift being played by BalletMage, they are looking to tie this end of round goal. So if you're Dozi, you'll think a little bit carefully about what you do here. But I mean, I look at BalletMage's board, and I think it all went back to that one turn where they drew cards and they got all those nice birds at once. But I think the way they set their board up beforehand was very nice. They got those wetler birds down, and like we said at the start of the game, you need to give yourself those options to see cards in the deck, because I think at the start when they just had that skimmer, it's really, really tricky to dig through the deck and find the birds you're looking for. But building up that wetlands, getting all these fish birds down, the bonus card is going to be really, really strong for BalletMage here. 8 points, very, very nice. That's you're always happy if you can max out the fishery manager. So yeah, this is going to be very interesting, I think, as we kind of head into this final round.
Maybe they want, like the BalletMage, they want to play the magpie the very last turn, so get some extra points, and then hope for the good buzzard roll to maybe brute force that catbird. And have their engine on their own.
I mean, how nice would that be? I think that's what they're thinking about right now. Is you've got to plan what you're going to tuck, right? Because if you play the magpie, when they lay eggs, you've got to tuck behind the swift and then tuck behind the martin. So, if you're going to use those powers, both of these birds they've got in their hand are going to have to go, which maybe is not what they're planning on doing. So, this is one of those points where it comes down to calculating. How many points will I get if I played the magpie before laying eggs here? If I have to skip a tuck and lose some points from that, is that going to be worth doing? I think at this point, if you're laying eggs like BalletMage is doing here, I think you get rid of the magpie now. It's not going to be worth playing in that final round. And like you said, you can get these free worms from the honey buzzard, and hopefully, I think they just need one, right? If they get one worm, they can get this catbird down. And there's the big boy.
Oh wow! Yeah,
how's your luck?
One of the big boys.
There you go. Yeah, and so come on, honey buzzard. There we go. 2 worms. So this is looking very nice. A very, very satisfying end game for BalletMage. And again, just kind of considering where things were for them, just being able to get this catbird down. They are going to have to think a little bit about the egg space. Obviously, whether they're going to play the crane or the eagle. I think that only gives them 1 or 2 extra spaces, and then obviously we'll discard some eggs as well. So that is always something to kind of try and take into account in this final round. But man, this is such a nice grasslands that BalletMage has managed to build up. It looks really, really impressive.
Yeah, and I like how the game just provides option for BalletMage, because like I would probably play it differently and just lay that magpie and also hope for the good roll from the honey buzzard. I would just pay with squigglies for the magpie. But their luck on the draw from the woodsork obviously helped them very much. So I guess their end game is pretty straightforward. Ooh, also a puffin in the tray. Wow, maybe that can affect something. But I like how this game is shaping up. And it's it was very, very entertaining.
Yeah, well, you said at the start of the game when Dozi kept taking all those fish, maybe they were hoping for the puffin, and the puffin truly does deliver. later in the game. So obviously they will just about, I think, have enough turns to be able to, you know, assuming they look to use that Blue Throat power, get that Puffin down. And I think certainly they'll be looking to do that. Obviously, it's such a huge point scoring bird in its own right. It gets you the bonus card and helps with the ecologist they've already got. So yeah, I think you're taking that every day if you're Dozi. No big surprises there. But yeah, I think, you know, for BalletMage, they're gonna have to think a little bit. They're gonna have to work out, you know, is it going to be worth trying to get this eagle down versus the whooping crane? Because the eagle's going to cost cards, and so, like we said before, the engine they've got in this grasslands is not actually gaining any cards because they're tucking away with the swift. So, you know, you can copy the white stalk and gain some extra cards, and then look to play the eagle, or you can copy the martin and get some extra tucked points and then play the crane. You know, there's kind of two very different routes that they can go down. And by the looks of things, they're going for this eagle by copying this white stock power. So very interesting seeing how this is going to play out here for BalletMage.
Yeah, I would also probably go for the eagle just because it's not a gamble and it's like just a point bomb.
Yeah.
I would maybe consider whooping crane for a little bit, but yeah, I would say that they're playing for the consistent points. And maybe they want to go for a gamble since end of round goals are completely lost. But I think that's eagle still just better because you can kind of see by the board there are not that many other bonus cards that help them that much.
Right.
So yeah, I would say that they're doing pretty okay.
Yeah, I think you're right. It feels like it's I feel like it's a safer play for the eagle. Like, so you're guaranteed those points that you know are going to come through the tucks. Whereas you play the crane and you are gambling a bit on that bonus card. And as you said, this is the point where you look at your board and you think, right, what bonus cards are going to score highly for me? You know, you've already got maxed out Fishery Manager. Are there really that many others that you could look to score points from? That's what's going to be going through BalletMage's mind. And of course, it all relies on being able to get some extra food. I mean, I think you see your opponent pick up the Puffin, you can feel pretty sure they're going to play it, but you never know. You know, obviously BalletMage can't see Dozi's hand, so they could be doing anything here. But unsurprisingly, the extra food does come from the Blue Throat there. So you know, potentially. Do you think they could play both? It's not something I thought about. It's just come to my mind now. Is that a bit too greedy, or do you think you pick one and then just lay eggs for that other turn?
Well, it's also definitely an option, but still, their engine is giving them a lot of points.
Yep.
So, again, is it worth the gamble?
Yep.
Who knows? I would say I would just probably after some consideration just keep the crane and play for the eagle.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
it seems like they are going that way.
Yeah, I think playing both is an option. I mean, you think about the need to gamble versus the need to play it safe. I mean, I think they do have egg space, so I think they could, you know, lay eggs. And obviously, if they play, if they play the eagle, they can discard some food. They'll get an extra egg that way. That helps a little bit on the point scoring. But yeah, I mean, you kind of think about bonus cards. I think Rodentologist, if they play the eagle as well, they've got the Night Heron and the Goshawk. That's going to score some points. Not a great pull from Dozi, and that could potentially cost them. Particularly, I mean, if BalletMage drew one of those, I don't think they'd be too happy. But certainly, I think there's options for BalletMage. You know, Omnivore would score a few points. Food Web Expert would score some points. So I think they've got a pretty decent point scoring potential from this whooping crane.
Yeah, let's just say Dozi had their luck all the game, along the game, but now they failed to pull the good bonus card. But still, Puffin is 7 raw points and also helps the end of round goal. So still a very nice play.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know who's going to win. I think this is really tricky. So I'm going to ask the audience to see what their thoughts are on this game in the last 2 turns.
Yeah, that's the beauty of Wingspan. So
absolutely.
Yeah, and also for now, still BalletMage has an option to go for both plays we mentioned. So they are going for the Imperial Eagle right away, and they still have a Whooping Crane and the food for Whooping Crane and the egg to play it on the board.
Absolutely. Yeah, they've got options. They've got options. So obviously that Eagle does go down. That's just huge. Such a point bomb. Very, very nice to get down. And Dozi's kind of looking at it very frustratingly. Obviously, they didn't know that. I don't think they knew that BalletMage had picked that up. But yeah, it's a frustrating one, I think, to see at the end of the game. But so satisfying. If it's you the one that's playing that, really very nice to get that down.
Yep, and by the looks of it, I think that both players will score really high. So like we previewed, I believe, the BalletMage board.
Yep.
And the score was 86, and they still have 1 turn left.
Yeah, certainly it feels like both players will at least be in the 90s. I think they'll be pushing on 100. Obviously, Dozi just gave a little flash of their score, and we know they're going to be laying eggs. At the end of this final turn. So, and it looks like BalletMage is doing the same. So potentially here taking the safer play. Just obviously discarding the food, getting a little bit of extra eggs. Interesting, they're copying the white stork. I guess it doesn't matter. They need extra cards to tuck behind both the white, was it the purple martin and the white-throated swift. So, yeah, I would have liked to see them play the crane. I think you take that gamble. You see what you get. I think, like we said, there's a few options they could have looked to get to score points, but certainly much safer play going for eggs here.
Yeah, I would disagree with you on that. I would still go for the egg laying and not gamble it, just because I think it's just better, outright better.
Yeah, I mean, it depends which way you go, and I normally, I think I consider myself pretty kind of risk averse late in the game. If I get a choice between playing something for big points or playing something for less points and a bonus card, I'll take the guaranteed points if I can. I think it's only if you kind of count the points and maybe think where you are relative to your opponent that you might think a little bit more carefully and kind of weigh up that kind of risk and reward. But here we go, pointless honey buzzard, and you get 2 worms. You take it, even though it makes no difference.
So we took 7 worms from the
7 worms. Pretty good. I think you take that.
Game.
So, yeah, end of round 4 and a clean sweep in the end of rounds for Dozi potentially is going to make the difference, but the scores are counting up, and yeah, it's a lead after the birds and the bonus cards. Not too surprising with BalletMage, but it's always going to come down to the number of eggs and the number of tuck cards. It's looking like it's going to be a close one. Oh, and it's 5 points in it. Dozi just about edges it. So really, really good game. Like we said, high scoring game from both players. And I mean, it looked like Dozi was going to run away with it completely, but BalletMage brought that back so well with that grasslands at the end. That was very impressive to see.
Totally agree. Very nice game.
Absolutely. All right. I will bring back our 2 players into the room after we look at the scores there. So we'll go to Dozi first. So congratulations, obviously, Dozi. Very, very close game in the end, but you just managed to edge it. So yeah, how did you think that game went for you?
Yeah, that was a tough game for me. When I saw the starting hand, I was like pretty hyped. I was like, oh, okay, I can. At first, I was confused of whether taking the 2 birds I showed you, but then it matched with the EUR. That's why I took both of them, and yeah, then I struggled to find some good cards I could use with my Gull. And then at the end, there were like so many good cards. I would have loved to play them, but then just time ran out, and yeah. But I'm happy that I still could make it, and but good, well played to BalletMage.
Absolutely, and yeah, we'll come to you, BalletMage. I must say, that was very impressive how you managed to drag that back, considering the less than ideal start, shall we say. But you had a really nice grasslands at the end, and certainly there were some interesting and difficult decisions, I think, in that final round on which bird am I going to play versus laying eggs. But yeah, what's your take on that game?
Yeah, it was tough, not having anything for the wetlands to start. The one, bird in the tray that was 2 fish and no fish in the feeder was a really tough decision. And I really didn't want to blind draw the deck, just hoping I might get a wetland bird. So I just went that way with it, and it matched up with the fishery manager bonus card. So so many fish cards at the beginning. So I knew I'd be able to max that out right away. And when I turned over the cards in the second round, like I felt pretty good, how things started to turn out. I think I made a couple of mistakes there, where I played the order wrong. I should have played the purple martin before the stork. I had thought about that and then thought, oh no, I need eggs to be able to play the second card, forgetting I had one already. So my order there was less than ideal. And then as I started pulling cards from the tray, a lot of it was more of a deny for Dozi than anything I might want to play.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think I quite like having the martin to the right of the stork, allowing you to pick up cards from the tray before you reset. So I wouldn't necessarily say that was a mistake, but yeah, there was that kind of one turn where I think you drew the white stork and the purple martin and the catbird, or you drew sort of 3 or 4. It all came in that single turn. It was like the Wingspan gods were just denying you anything good for the whole game, and then decided, oh, here you go. Oh, you can have some good cards now.
All at once.
Yeah, all at once. But I mean,
it was tough there at first.
Yeah. I must say that was a very, very enjoyable game to watch. And like I said, it kind of, when we saw the starting hands, we thought, with the gull and these food generating birds, really, really strong start for Dozi. And you managed it well in that first round to get everything down. And we were just feeling bad for BalletMage, but some really nice draws, and getting that grassland set up at the end was very, very nice. So. Yeah, again, congratulations to Dozi, who wins this group game. And
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, and
congratulations, Dozi. That was a lot of fun.
Indeed, it was a lot of fun to watch. And if you are watching at home, don't go anywhere, because we have another game coming up in about 5 minutes' time. So do stay tuned. Looking forward to that one as well. But for now, we will leave you on this stream. So thanks again to both of our players for taking part, and of course to my wonderful co-host Alex for joining me today.
Thanks, Alex.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
Yeah, good luck, everyone.
Thanks.
See you around.
See you.
Cheers.
Thanks, everyone. And as I said, we will see you over on the other stream very, very soon. You can head over to my channel to see that. And please do join us over there.